Okay, so in this video we're going to be speaking about obesity, being overweight, and the effect that good diet and exercise can have on these things. Now, both being overweight and, of course, being obese is an example of malnourishment. Malnourishment. Now, you've probably heard malnourished in terms of starving children and starving people in Africa and things like that. That's because malnourishment is really the condition, so it's the condition of having a poor diet. The condition of having a poor diet or a lack of proper nutrition. Now, obviously, this swings both ways. We can be talking about people who just aren't getting enough food at all, so they don't have what is essential really for our body to function. And we are also talking about people who get too much. So if you have too much food, you end up storing a lot of it as fat and therefore causing overweight and eventually causing obesity. Obesity is a form of malnutrition. This is because your body is most likely taking in substances, too many substances, which it doesn't really need. So once you've had enough carbohydrates, you don't need any more. Once you've had enough fats, you don't need any more. But a lot of these foods don't contain the right vitamins and minerals and everything else that you do need. And so a lot of the time, overeating is actually helping lead to malnutrition. So it's quite simple. We can look at gaining weight in terms of an equation. Gaining weight is a result of energy taken in, so the amount of energy that you are actually eating is greater than, this symbol means greater than, energy used up. So quite simply, if you are taking in more energy than you are using up, then that energy has got to go somewhere, and your body will store that energy as excess fat, and that is what leads to your body putting on the weight. Of course, there is a fine balance here, because if the energy that you take in is insufficient, then your body will end up losing weight, because you'll have to start burning parts of your body, your fat to start off with, but obviously eventually it will be your muscle, in order to obtain that energy. And so it is a fine balance, and that's why diet and exercise are so vitally important. And so what does exercise have to do with that? Well, exercise, it helps you control the amount of energy you are burning. It controls the amount of energy burned or used up. And that's because if you are eating too much in terms of the amount of energy that you're burning, if you can do this exercise and burn more energy, then this on the right hand side goes up, and it means you're less likely to have a massive energy surplus, if you like. It's less likely that you've got loads of energy that you haven't burned, so you're burning some of it by using exercise. You also, let's rub that out. You also alter your body fat to body muscle ratio. And so if you've got barely any muscle, but most of your body weight is coming from fat, that fat is not overly useful, because our muscles are what allow us to move and allow us to be active. And therefore, if we have a high amount of fat and a low amount of muscle, this is bad. Exercise allows us to increase our muscle mass, and that will therefore mean that more of our body is made of muscle than it was before. And so this is something else which allows exercise to make us healthier. Now, one thing which is very common is if, for example, you are concerned about your health and about your lifestyle, you can visit a fitness instructor or a personal fitness specialist, so a fitness instructor. What they can do is they can advise you on the right amount of food, so on the amount of food and the types of food which you need to eat in order to improve the efficiency, if you like, of energy used in your body. So if at the moment your diet is full of pasta, but it's got barely any meat or barely any vegetable sources of protein, so lentils and things like that. If you've barely got any of those foods, you're not going to be getting much protein. So a fitness instructor will advise you, well, start eating this so you can obtain your protein. This will help you balance out your diet and stop you eating excess, putting on weight, and also being malnourished. They can also advise you on an exercise plan. So exercise plan. Some exercises are better than others for certain things. For example, if you want to lose weight, then lifting really heavy weights is not probably the best option. If you are only lifting really heavy weights now and again and then stopping and resting, you're not burning too much energy, but you're probably building muscle. So that means you're going to put on muscle mass, but you're not going to lose the excess fat. Whereas if you are doing weights for a longer period of time, or you are doing some cardiovascular exercise for a long period of time, then that is more likely to allow you to burn more energy and start to lose the excess body mass. And so these two things coupled together, the dietary intake and also the exercise plan, they are both very important. If you can sort out the right level of exercise and the right diet plan, so you're eating the right foods as well, that is a very powerful way of getting yourself fit and healthy and free of deficiencies and obesity, of course. If you just exercise but you still eat really badly, then you are less likely to see great results. And vice versa, if you eat better but you still don't do any exercise, you just sit down all day, then your body really isn't getting the right level of activity which is going to help you burn that extra fat. Okay, so this was just a quick overview. I hope that it's helped. You need to understand that mixing exercise with a good diet is the best way of losing the weight, and also that, of course, our energy taken in being larger than our energy used up is how we end up gaining weight and becoming overweight. So if you do have questions on that, then please do send me an email using the link below, or post a comment in the comment box. But I look forward to seeing you in the next video.